Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, God of Heroics, and with Sparking Zero having just officially released, and I having played the game during early access, I'm going to go over the basic training to tell you guys or show you guys how to play the game. Now, I'm using the classic controls for PlayStation, so please convert all of this stuff to your controls. And without further ado, let's get started. Please leave a like, subscribe to the page, hit the notification bell for future uploads. So we're going to skip the basic maneuvers and move on to everything else. Mostly because the basic maneuvers are just stuff that you learn in the tutorial. To be honest, some of this stuff is what you learn in the tutorial as well, but we're going to go over it because it leads into other stuff. So, rushing. The rush attack is just going to be square knockouts. This is your most basic combo. If you hold square, you get this heavy attack, and if you hold circle, you get blocking. Now, all these things are going to be elaborated on, so stay tuned. Double tapping X is how you throw. And then we're moving on to how to use your key. Charging your key is holding L2, like so. And if you press triangle, or keep pressing triangle rather, you can do a key rush. If you're in the air, you tap it once and they do the blast themselves. If you're on the ground, you have to keep tapping it or you'll just get one key blast. If you hold triangle, then you'll get a smash key blast, or a heavy key blast as I like to call it, and sword characters get a slash that's unblockable. Krillin does a destructo disc. Alright, so deflecting key blast. It's just a block button, but you press it right before the key blast hit you, and the same thing works for the heavy key blast, except you redirect it directly back at your opponent instead of just slapping them off to the side. So if you see right here, there you go. Went back and hit Piccolo. Next, revenge counters. If you double tap L1, bam, in the middle of their combo, it interrupts them. Same for keys. And this one is going to be circle plus triangle, which is just a block button, then pressing triangle. Next is going to be countering revenge counters. So first of all, you can counter a revenge counter with a revenge counter. By the way, revenge counters do take 2 skill counts, so they're not spammable. But if you hit circle and triangle at the same time before they do a revenge counter, then you can go ahead and counter theirs. Next, we are going to counter a throw. When they grab you, you can press circle to get out of it. And if you see, it's very lenient on doing it. So I had a full 5 frames into his grab animation to counter. Next is going to be Blast 1 and Blast 2, and the Skill 1 and Skill 2. Blast 1 for Goten is stone throws. Most characters have like some kind of key blast, Kamehameha Wave, Galaga, whatever. And then L2 up triangle is going to be for Goten as charge. Some characters get like a key volley. Other characters get, rush supers, kind of like you saw with Goten just now. And then there is the skills. So they take skill counts, and Goten's, he does after image. Some characters have like after image strike, and then he also has sleep, which recovers like a bar and a fourth of health or something like that. So to switch characters, it's the right joystick. You press it in, and then you switch, moving it left, up, down, or whatever. And it's the same thing with transformations, except it's L3 and R3, which is the joysticks. You push those in to bring up the menu. Now, next on our list, we are going to be going through some of the intermediate stuff. So, Dragon Dashing. Dragon Dashing is just L2 and X. It's just a fast flight. And then you can also short dash into a Dragon Dash, so forward X. And then you can hit L2X in the middle of it. Then there is your Z Burst Dash, which is Dragon Dashing twice. You just put it in the input twice, and you can get behind your opponent for a combo. Now, if you dash up, you can dash down. Just tap your rising button twice or your descending button twice. Pretty easy. And now we're going to be dealing with recovery. So if your opponent knocks you back, you can press circle while you're mid-flight to recover. Now, this is only if they knock you back. If they knock you back and there's nothing to hit, you can do that. But if there's something like a wall, or if they're knocking you towards the ground, then that is a different recovery. See, pressing circle will do nothing in this instance. But if I were to hold down on the joystick when I get hit towards the ground, you'll see I actually recover. Now, you can recover dashing towards your enemy if you hold forward on the joystick, but this is, again, when you're hitting the ground or a wall. You can dash right back at them. stop them from charging or attacking or whatever they plan to do. And then also when you're on the ground, instead of recovering that way, you can just press up X and get up normally. Next, we're gonna elaborate a bit on the rush attacks, the rush combo. You can do rush chains. So if you hit square 5 times, you knock your enemy back, and then you continue the combo from there, which we'll get into in a later moment. But if you press square anywhere between 1 to 4 times and then hit triangle after one of those square presses, you get something else. And each one of those moves has their own different properties. It's not the same for every character, so definitely test out your character. A lift strike is up triangle, and then ground slash or grand slash is down triangle in the middle of a combo. One of them lifts your opponent for further attack, the other one knocks them on the ground, and both of those can be elaborated on. So if you hold square, it's just a power attack, knocks them back. If you hold square as long as the game allows you to, then it is a full power smash, and it knocks them back further, and you can do a chase attack. And if you hold square with perfect timing, right when your character flashes, it does an instant attack that they cannot block. So now we're going to get into vanishes. So vanishing strike, square, and X at the same time. If you're close to your opponent, you vanish behind them and kick them, which you can follow up on. If you're mid-range, you go in front of them and hit them, but they do not go flying. And if you're far range, it's just a step. You don't hit anybody. So if you do the vanishing assault, you can do a follow-up by pressing X, but your timing has to be good or you'll end up messing it up like you just saw me do. But if you time it right, then you get your chase and you can do other attacks after, which we will be getting into. So this is the dragon smash. After the follow-up, you press square. And then these other moves I'm also going to show you right here and now. So the burst smash, when you follow them, you press triangle. So follow them, then you do triangle, and they do like a Z burst-esque maneuver and hit them, which takes up a lot more of your key than just a regular. Or you can just press triangle to do a vanish and you'll end up behind them. And lastly, I think it's called the lightning attack. It's completely vanishable, by the way. All these moves are vanishable. If you press circle, then they do a takedown like that. But yeah, your opponent can vanish all these. The lightning attack is harder to vanish in my opinion. So this one, they want you to do 3 hits and then switch. Now, the way they explain it, they say additional moves during rush attacks. So they want you to attack your opponent and then use the right joystick to switch to your teammate. But it doesn't really work that way because you have to press L3 and R3 to open up the team menu, then move the joystick, the right joystick to the left to switch. And for whatever reason, I can't get that to work properly, so we're just going to skip it. There's different types of guards. So there's a high guard, which blocks high attacks. There's a low guard, which blocks low attacks. And if you block them perfectly, then you actually stun your opponent, and you basically get the chance to counterattack them. See, as you see right here, he's doing a low attack, but I block it. So if they're trying to do a lift strike or a grand slash, then you can do a low block to block that. Same if they're trying to knock you upwards. See, if he's doing a regular block, then I can break his guard like that by holding up and square. The smash attacks have directional inputs, by the way. But if he doesn't block properly, then it will break his guard. But if you do block properly, like so, by holding circle and pushing up for a low smash, or circle and down for a rising smash, then you can block it properly, leaving them wide open for an attack. Next, we're going to talk about perception. So, circle and triangle, that is the counter attack that we talked about earlier. That counters revenge counters. It also just counters regular attacks in general, leaves them open for you to counterattack. Super perception. If you hold it, you can use it with stronger moves. Instead of just tapping it, you can hold it and it lasts a little bit longer. High speed evasion. This is hitting circle at the right moment. It is not easy to do, by the way. For me, I hated doing this for the training because I get it eventually, but it's easier for me to do in the heat of combat. I don't know why. Maybe because it's a little bit more predictable and you can easier to, it's easier to tell through the formality of how fighting goes, of which way it's done better. But here, as you see in the heat of battle, it's way easier for me to do and to explain it. Basically, when your opponent's about to hit you, I think you have like 4 or 5 frames where you can push it. And if you see right when they appear behind me, I don't press it. But as soon as they start moving in my direction, I press it because that's about 4 to 5 frames. I believe it's 5 frames where you can hit perception counter. So moving on, super counters. So just press up and square, and it has to be right when they're about to hit you. This can work for any kind of attack. It's really difficult to do. I think you even have less time to hit that one because a lot of the rush attacks are much faster. But it's possible to do even if your back is turned. So when they do a follow-up attack like that, if you press circle at the right time, the follow attacks that we talked about where you dash after knocking them back, or you press triangle or whatever, if you press circle at the right time, you can vanish it like so. Next is going to be following up with a Z counter. So when I vanish, he vanishes, then I vanish again, which is what I showed you with the Gogeta clip, but we were vanishing back and forth. Now that we're done with all of that, we're going to move into sparking mode. So remember how we charged up? If you have at least one skill count, you can charge up into sparking mode. And this comes with a lot of benefits. So first, you get something called a violent rush. You can just keep hitting square, and your opponent is caught in an infinite looping combo. At some point, it does knock them down, and then you can hit your ultimate, or you can basically continue it with any of the other moves like the Grand Slash or the Rush Chains, or you can hit your Hyper Smash. But then you can get your ultimate. So L2 down triangle is always going to be your ultimate, and for Super Saiyan Gohan, it is Bros Kamehameha, as you see right here. There are quite a few characters that have unblockables, like this one, like obviously the Father Son Kamehameha, the Super Spirit Bomb, stuff like that. So if you dash towards your enemy, hit square, triangle, square, one of my favorite combos. You can also throw your ultimate at the end of that. It doesn't have to be. This isn't a combo that is exclusive to Sparking Mode, by the way. I think they were just trying to show you that it's something that you can combo into. Um, so yeah, just remember that. We're going to go over that a little bit in a later video when we talk about actually using combos. But anyway, let's move on. We're going to go into impacts. These are your clashes. So grab clashes, step clashes, beam struggles, all that. So if you dash at each other, it's going to be this one. It's going to be hitting square at the right time for phase 1, then spinning the joystick for phase 2, and whoever wins gets the knockback that you can follow up. If you both grab, you get this one. You got to just keep spamming square, and whoever gets the most amount of gauge filled up is the winner. This one, you step towards each other. It's just a classic QTE. You gotta hit the button first before the other one, and you get that knockback that you can chase after. And then there's the beam struggle. It says L2 down triangle because Gohan's is a beam, but not every character has a beam for their ultimate. As a matter of fact, you can clash a beam with just like a regular like blast, like a Kamehameha or something like that, and you can still get this beam struggle. The fun thing about it is that it doesn't just do the normal damage, but it knocks back their damage as well. So we're going to go into stepping. X steps forward, and then you continue with square. You can also use triangle instead. Moving forward, you can step and press circle to do an evasion. And then you get your high speed maneuver. So square, square, and then you can do circle to vanish. You can vanish left, right, or you can even vanish back for a little bit of a mix-up, and you can continue your combos from there. Know that you and your opponent can react to each other's vanishes. So he vanished. If I press circle at the right time, I can vanish behind him. So be a little careful with those vanishes. So square, up triangle, and then like I said, when you do the left strike, you can go ahead and follow it up. You can jump up there with X, and then spam square for a nice combo, or you can push triangle for a heavy hit, and then do some more combos with that. So during a Z burst, when you dash behind your opponent, triangle, square, super easy. Then you get your square, down triangle, square when doing a short dash. And also, you get your square, triangle, square, which we showed before during the Sparky mode training. And then a ground grab. If your opponent is on the ground too long, like they don't want to get up into a combo, you can press forward triangle or up triangle, and you can pick them up and throw them, and you can follow up with anything else. And I believe that is everything as far as the basic training. So we're going to do a video later for comboing. So please like the video, subscribe to the page, and hit the notification bell so you can see all future uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.